TV.
Good evening and welcome to West Talk. That's it. Summer's over. It's the first day of fall. I'm wearing my sweater. Let's get on to it. It's the most beautiful time of the year, in my opinion, here in Western Newfoundland, and I cannot wait for a month of hikes and campfires and fresh air and cool breezes and all that. So that's going to stick with us on this episode. We're going to be talking about some cool things happening here in the city. We're going to be talking about ways to get outdoors and have some fun. We're going to be talking about our body, in particular two little organs that filter our blood. That and more on this episode of West Talk. And I just want to tell you now, you need to stay tuned until the very end of this episode because we are going to have a giveaway. All right, let's jump right in with our guest today. Well, you've got two bean-shaped organs hanging out under your ribs, and they do all kinds of interesting things for your body. They filter your blood and even, I think, regulate your hormones a little bit. They're kind of mysterious, but important. And you know, 1 in 10 Canadians are dealing with health issues related to their kidneys. So to talk a little bit more about that, what supports are in place, we are going to be speaking with now Elizabeth Sparks, who's the program coordinator for the Kidney Foundation. Elizabeth, thanks for joining us on the line from St. John's.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here and to chat a little bit about what the Kidney Foundation Atlantic branch can support with.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, you guys are out here doing some really important work. And the kidneys are those types of organs that you don't really spend a lot of time thinking about until there's maybe something going wrong with them, right? Maybe some of our most taken for granted organs. But of course, at the Kidney Foundation, you guys are working with people who I guess are having health issues directly related to the kidneys. So can you talk a little bit right off the bat about the Kidney Foundation and the role it serves for Canadians?
Sure, exactly what you just said. So 1 in 10 Canadians lives with chronic kidney disease. And really, that's 1 in 10 too many. The Atlantic branch of the Kidney Foundation, along with the Kidney Foundation of Canada, really strives to promote prevention and education, because those are such powerful pieces when knowing about your body and what we can support with at the foundation level. This is the 61st year that the Kidney Foundation has been supporting folks with chronic kidney disease. And it is a real special place to work. I get to support those living in the Atlantic region, so the 4 provinces of Atlantic Canada, living with chronic kidney disease, their families, their caregivers, and we get to liaise with the health authorities across the 4 provinces as well. So it is a great role that I have here, I have to say. And I can say that, you know, the 1 in 10 that do have chronic kidney disease, and like you said, you know, sometimes it creeps up. That is very true. We are here to support you and to support your region. So if you have questions, I can always help navigate your area.
Awesome. One thing you just mentioned there that I'd like, if possible, to expand on is the prevention piece. So through the foundation, what kind of messaging or programs are in place to talk about prevention, or I guess maybe things that can be done to prevent people or to help avoid chronic kidney issues? Is there anything you can say about that?
Yes, in my role as programs coordinator, I do get the honor of working in the community. So we're invited often across the region to support those living in the areas to learn a little bit about what we're here to do and how they can support themselves. So we have resources, we have printable resources, we have documents that we can send out to educate a little bit more about what the kidneys do. And we get into the dialysis units themselves across the Atlantic region. So I get to support with education pieces right where the patients are, where their families are, and where those healthcare providers are, because we also want the health authorities to always remember that we're here to help them as well, because as we all know, our systems are quite stretched at the moment, and sometimes everything is turning on a fast wheel. So getting involved and physically getting into the units is what I love to do, because it really helps support those patients that are looking for the services that we offer. And having invitations to community events across the region as well is something that we are always here to become a part of as well.
Very interesting. And you mentioned the word there again. You touch on, you say these little things that light up my mind a little bit. You use the word dialysis. So this is something that obviously very complicated. I don't know really anything about, but I guess the dialysis is a treatment that a lot of people who have kidney issues have to go through. And from a couple people in my life who I've had the chance to talk to about this, it seems like a pretty onerous kind of thing. I mean, they have to go to a dialysis center or a hospital, which could mean they have to travel a fair ways, and they are basically getting hooked up to some equipment, and they have to spend a fair bit of time there. Is there anything you can say about just sort of generally, and I know we're not here to give medical advice or anything, is there anything we can say about dialysis just to help the viewers at home understand what like some people with serious kidney issues have to go through? Can you say anything about that?
Yes, of course. Of course. So with regards to dialysis, as you said, it is a supportive mechanism that people are using 3, 4, 5, sometimes 5 days a week, every week, if they are diagnosed by their nephrologist, and that's the specialist of the kidneys. They have a team that supports them, and like you also said, transportation is sometimes an issue or a real barrier, because we all, can picture the regions we live in, Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and PEI. They're vast in ways, and there's rural communities that the access isn't right in their center. So we have programs that support with things called, it's actually called our short-term financial assistance program. So that really supports folks with services to and from vital appointments, such as dialysis. It supports with food security as well, because oftentimes an individual who is requiring dialysis, they're not just living without others to take care of. They may be a caregiver themselves or a parent, and they have other people to support. So with the short-term financial support, that can ease a bit of that strain that comes with the travel and having to go on dialysis.
Wow. Well, Elizabeth, you've been very informative for us today. I think we want to keep having you back on the show each season just to give us updates. Obviously, there's a lot more that we can unpack here to talk about, this issue in our community. So thank you for coming on here today. And just on the last moment, can you tell people if they thought about this, if they're dealing with kidney issues, or if somebody in their family is, where is the best place for them to go to find information about your programs?
Sure. So we have a website, kidney.ca. And you can navigate the bar programs and services, our events page. There's the Kidney Community Kitchen that gives some pointers on recipes that are kidney friendly. My email is elizabeth.sparks@kidney.ca. And we are always here to help. Just remember, you are not alone. And we're stronger together than kidney disease. So anytime, reach out, and I will gladly take your email and call.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for your time today. We've got to cut this off and bring another studio into the guest, but I bid you farewell, and we'll chat next season with another discussion about the Kidney Foundation. Have a good night.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
All right, now joining me in studio, somebody we've introduced you to before, actually, in a different capacity, but now Jamie Buffett, who is here with me, is the owner of Corner Brook's newest motorcycle dealership, Adventure Moto, up on Hemlock Avenue, is the area's newest KTM dealer, and more. And here to talk about that life is Jamie Buffett. Jamie, thanks for coming down, man.
Thanks for having me.
Now, we first had you in here when you were promoting a Kids Learn to Ride event that you were involved with a couple summers ago, I think. And just first of all, from my observation, I can tell that your style of motorcycle sales is community events, and ever since you've been around this area, you've really been instrumental in putting together a lot of group things that happen, which, I have to give you credit for, because there's so many people who are around here with motorcycles and who are enthused about it, but seldom do people get together for these rides. So kudos on that. Jamie, first, I don't know if last time we really had a chance to get into like your background in, I guess, the motorcycle world.
Sure.
So tell us a little bit about that, kind of how you got into this in the first place.
Yeah, so I've been in, after university, I got a job selling motorcycles at was Scott's Motorsport at the time, selling all power sports equipment.
Yeah.
And, I stayed in that industry of motorsports for, it's been 23 years now.
Without break?
I
You've always been at this?
I had a year at Cycle Solutions with Peter Allahead, which was great. And other than that, and a small stint in the auto sales for just after COVID.
Right.
So yeah, I really do enjoy power sports and specifically motorcycles. So this was a great opportunity to to go to my own, and I've always wanted my own business. So
yeah,
it's been good.
So you've pretty much been involved with like all the different brands over the years in some capacities.
Most everyone, yep.
You worked in dealerships in Stephenville and really just all over the area. And so now today, you are introducing these new brands in the Corner Brook. So, like KTM, for example.
Absolutely.
And I know you've been involved in other kind of like similar rollouts of different motorcycle brands in the area. But tell us about what you have going on up here now at Adventure Moto and why it's a little bit different. Like as soon as I walk in the door, I just have this feeling that it doesn't feel like a normal motorcycle dealership.
Sure. So it is, like you said earlier, we're really community minded. I enjoy getting out and riding the bike, and that's going to usually take someone to go with. And I think what I can offer the community is putting those people together that, maybe we'll get a ride and there's 15 riders, but maybe there's 2 there that really click that want to decide to ride together on their own and that. Yeah. Or someone that's new to the area or just doesn't know where we can go. I plan all the routes, take them along. I plan for someone to kind of sweep the back of the ride so that nobody gets left behind or has a mechanical.
Yeah.
So connecting people there, no matter what bike brand you have, you're welcome on these rides. And maybe that means someone with another brand needs a tire or a helmet or a battery or anything like that. Yeah, we're glad to have them.
Well, that's what I'm kind of noticing about your shop is it's like, yes, you've got, you're carrying the KTM brand and all the different lines that they have there, but really it's just seems to be becoming this hub for anyone who's interested in like off-road motorcycles in particular, even though you're selling street bikes and things. So that's cool. Can you talk just quickly about the lineup, I guess, because you are a KTM dealer, but I didn't even realize how many different styles and types of bikes that KTM makes for basically every type of rider. And we'll talk about a different type, but can you just run through the, for the different types of riders, what type of bikes you're carrying down there?
So we do have KTM, and I hope down the road to expand to some other lines, but right now, so the range is anywhere from a motocross bike, which is what you see people race in stadiums, in Canada, but more in the U.S., where it's jump after jump after jump. And then there's small transitions to different type of riding all the way to, a street bike or even an adventure bike, which is something that you can travel for days on, go on gravel or pavement. And in between, there's bikes for racing on open roads and racing in tight woods, like mountain bike style trails. Yeah. And then dual purpose bikes, which are like a dirt bike that's street legal, and then adventure bikes, which are, again, multi-day travel, or you take your bags, you're camping overnight, you're doing a lot of pavement, but you're wanting to do gravel roads as well. And then, of course, a full street bike where it's pavement only, and then it covers most every style of bike except the big cruiser chrome style of bike.
Yeah. But everything, you've got these sport bikes and basically stuff for every different type of terrain in there. Yep. And you touched on, my favorite type of riding, which is nowadays anyway, since I've become a dad, is this adventure style bikes and ridings, motorcycles that are geared up so you can load them down with a bit of weight and really adventure. And I think that's, for me, the best type of bike to own in Newfoundland. We'll get into that. Okay, so let's just focus in for a second on adventure bikes.
Sure thing.
And I just remembered a thought that I had. It was about Dakar. Adventure bikes. They are generally a bit bigger, but still very capable off-road. Like dirt bikes are known that they're light and flickable, and you can go anywhere with them, right? So talk about how adventure bikes, in particular, some people call them ADV bikes, how they specifically serve the motorcycle world.
Yeah. So for a lot of people, it's just a really nice street bike. It's an upright riding position, so you're not leaned over and you're not leaned back with all your weight on your tailbone. So it's easy to move around on the bike, stand up on it, quickly put your feet down. It's an upright position, so it's comfortable for long distances. And they'll typically come with some more comfort features, like maybe cruise control or a tall windshield, a wider seat than a dirt bike would have, and the ability to carry a lot more. It could be a passenger in a case with a backrest, or it could be all your luggage for travel, or your lunch for the day, or that sort of thing. They tend to be bigger bikes, so they're not as good in the tight technical terrain that a dirt bike would be, but you can easily travel for 2-3 hours on the highway and not get sore or be fighting the wind, stay warmer, those kind of things.
That's kind of why I think it's the ultimate for Newfoundland. It's like we have so much endless backcountry to explore and thousands of kilometers of logging roads and things you can just rip on, but sometimes you got to be able to get that hour of highway in between to access it. And so I know other people who have kind of smaller bikes that are amazing in the woods and unstoppable, but that little hour section of road is like a big obstacle now.
Exactly.
So that's why I love these so much.
We have, I would suspect, more dirt roads than paved roads on the West Coast.
Good point.
So, and these roads are logging roads that you could take an SUV or truck on easily, but you can easily do it on your adventure bike. You can link up some small trails. If you're tired, you can just come back to pavement, which is what we've been doing on the group rides we've been offering. And whereas a street bike wouldn't be able to explore those, in Corner Brook, there's 3 or 4 routes that you're going to do on a street bike, unless you're going to travel further along the island or off the island. And some people will find that, I've done that for a few years, I'm tired of it now, whereas adventure bike, there's, like we can leave Hughes's Brook, and there's 3 different ways we can take to get us close to Gross Moor.
That's totally the case for me. I was always like a sport bike rider on these GSXRs and stuff, and here in Western Newfoundland, it really doesn't take long before you've just are kind of bored with your route options. Like, am I going east or west today? And now on these types of bikes, it's like every 5 hours that I have to spare is like a potential to go see something I haven't seen before.
And to explore.
Yeah, and another thing I didn't even realize, honestly, until this last group ride with you guys, is like it's easier to get through these trails a lot of trails on a motorcycle than even on a quad. Like you can go faster, you can cover more ground because you can kind of get around the obstacles and rocks instead of having to just absorb everything. That was a real big eye opener for me. Yeah, so now you can travel faster, you can carry some cargo, and again, it's just so cool. And now the type of bikes that you guys have down there, these adventure bikes were always like known to be bigger, heavier, and now the technology is really coming along. Like one aspect I appreciate about some of the KTM bikes, and I know other bikes, is they're really trying to make, even though they're bigger, make them more maneuverable, and these new gas tanks that are on the bottom, more so on the bottom of the bike to bring the center of gravity down. Super cool. And I guess that leads to the other thing I want you to touch on, which is like, why is KTM in particular so dominant with this type of riding? And like even with the Dakar Rally, which I only recently started to get into, but I think safe to say the world's biggest, most grueling motorcycle rally.
I would agree.
Right, where all manufacturers are present, and KTM has just like literally owned it for so long.
I think it's, for them, it's their slogan is is ready to race, and although we don't do any racing around here, that racing pushes the technology to always be at the forefront, versus a bike that's been made the same way for 10 or 15 years. There's no new technology changes. Like these bikes have, ABS brakes, traction control, cruise control I mentioned. So all these things that the racers need to win a race trickles down to the public for the next production model and stuff. So
that's a pretty good answer. Yeah, they're never trying to keep things the same.
They're always changing. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I really love it. And of course, now in your dealership, you're offering service. So this is not just on KTM bikes. People with any type of motorcycle or dirt bike or whatever, they can come up.
Any power sports, actually, side-by-sides, ATVs, snowmobiles, everything.
Even chainsaws, maybe.
Yeah, because we sell power equipment, so chainsaws, lawnmowers, snowblowers, all of that.
You're carrying the full steel lineup up there right now, which is another like side thing. We'll expand on that next time we get you in, because I just saw the light from our producer. But I think it's more important to touch on the service aspect that you have going, because you also now have a well-known motorsports technician up there, Barry Hicks, and you're offering this service. So in just the final moments, what do you want to extend to the viewers in Western Newfoundland? What would you like to say about Adventure Moto?
I think just what you've said is to let them know that we service everything that's power sports or power equipment, lawnmowers, snowblowers, ATVs, side-by-sides, motorcycles, of course.
Yeah.
You know, that's my passion, but you know, I've been involved in all of it. And we sell steel power equipment and Echo power equipment as well, actually. So, you know, maybe you don't have anything to do with motorcycles at all, but you need a chainsaw or a lawnmower, and we're going to have that stuff as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, really fun place to just hang out, and of
Yep,
course, very
come up,
comfortable up
have
there.
coffee,
Yeah.
watch some motorcycle videos. Yep.
Yeah, I love that.
Yep.
Jamie, thank you so much for coming down.
Thanks for
I really
having me.
appreciate your
Yep,
time.
I appreciate
We'll get
it.
you back in next time you have a group ride or anything. Let us know.
Sounds
and,
great. Maybe we
we'll-
could
we'll
do a
plug it in
video of
here.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And that was Jamie Buffett, the owner of Adventure Moto up on Hemlock Avenue. Make sure you stop in there right away. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back to wrap this episode up. Stay tuned. All right, now in a little twist, we have joining us in studio the general manager of the Arts and Culture Center, Fine Theatre here in the city, Miss Krista Hansen-Robitschek. Thanks for coming down. Normally we make you just stand up and talk about the exciting events on your own, but there's so much going on this week, we thought it would be best to just get right into it.
That's great. Thanks for having me on the show, Dustin.
No problem. Thanks for being in the studio. Now, you've got some really cool events coming up this week and next week. But first, let's go in order of operations here and start out with tomorrow night's show, because this is a Tuesday night show, with Corey Tetford, of course, one of Newfoundland's most iconic musicians of all time. What's he got going on at the theater?
He's got a show on Wednesday night, full band, and as usual, you know, Corey's gonna bring a powerhouse show, and he's so versatile in what he performs in terms of, you know, that classic rock sound to a little bit more folk, a little bit softer, but you know, sometimes there's a little bit of a, you know, different feel to it, and you know, it's going to be an incredible night of musicianship.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the finest vocalists and really guitarists, you know that I know of in the province. He's played on his own with many bands over the decades, and then more recently was touring with Alan Doyle, and I think playing with even Matt Anderson. He supports a lot of the great musicians because he is one himself.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, and so that's a great show this week, musically, Wednesday night. And then later in the week, we've got some fun for all. We've got like some circus stuff happening at the Arts and Culture, which I didn't even realize was the type of show that you guys were producing there. So tell us about what's happening Thursday and Friday.
So Thursday night, we have an internationally acclaimed acrobat. Jamie Atkins is coming in to do a show. And the great thing about it is that it starts at 6:30, so and it goes straight through, so there's no intermission, so it's a great family show. We have a family rate for tickets because we really want to encourage everybody to come out and see the show. And then on Friday night, we have Off Balance, which is a show presented by Wonderbolt Circus. And that show is going to be more acrobatics and aerialists, right?
Oh yeah, like Cirque du Soleil type stuff?
Yeah. On a smaller scale, because it is, you know, we do have a smaller stage at the Arts and Culture Center, but it is going to be aerialists. So, and this is from Wonderbolt Circus in St. John's. And they're just coming off the heels of their international circus fest that they do.
Is Wonderbolt actually a Newfoundland production originally?
They are,
really?
yeah.
Because I do see they do stuff everywhere.
They do.
Across the country and beyond, I think. So.
That's right. And Wonderbolt Circus started in St. John's. And so they now have a circus training center out there. So they are internationally recognized.
Yeah.
So Thursday and Friday. So Friday's show is at 7:30. And again, go straight through, no intermission. So great fun for the whole family.
There's nobody riding elephants or
No.
caged tigers or anything like that.
No,
This is
nothing
all,
like that.
This is all humans doing incredible things.
That's right. So Thursday is more about the comedy and the acrobatic, and Friday is a lot of humor, a little bit of storytelling, and aerialists.
Yeah, and of course as a venue, you guys just love doing different things. At least anytime I've got to work with your techs, they're like, we're like, what can we do that's, you know, new and exciting or challenging? They always embrace it, so I can imagine they love to see the circus come to town.
We do. We love to see the circus, we love to be able to stretch and flex our knowledge and share different things with everybody. So speaking of that, the following week we have a country music show with three powerhouse women from Canadian country music. So we have Lisa Brokaw, Patricia Conroy, and Beverly Mahood.
Wow.
And that is going to be an incredible show.
Yeah.
So, you know, like there's really something for everyone,
What
right?
a mix. What a mix.
Yeah,
Huge Canadian talents, big recording artists from the 80s and 90s with lots of radio country hits. And
That's
here
right.
they are now right in Corner Brook coming next week.
Yes, coming next week on the 2nd. And then after that, we've got a classical music show coming up with a mix of classical piano and poetry. And it's sort of playing on the idea of music and poetry from Ireland and from and the classical music and the poetry from Newfoundland. So the two island cultures.
Yeah.
So again,
Amazing.
another offering all together, right? And then after that, we got Tragically Hip, AC/DC, got Spice Girls, we've got a couple comedy shows. Like,
Nice.
it's a really well-rounded lineup for the fall. So we really feel like there's something for everyone.
That sounds awesome. I wish I could get a season pass to the Arts and Culture Center. Right? Krista, that's our time right now, but is there any final invite or anything you want to extend to the viewers of Western Newfoundland about the Arts and Culture Center in Corner Brook?
Like I said, we've got a little bit of everything, and really, like, check out the website, artsandculturecenter.com, call the box office, 637-2580, and we're happy to talk through, like, what we've got coming up and what the options are, and stay tuned. So many artists are coming to me wanting to put their Christmas shows on sale.
Right.
And
That's a
so
whole
if
other
you
thing.
are looking for something to give, you know, mom and dad for Christmas, really want everybody to consider like buying a ticket for a show at the Arts and Culture Center. Entertainment is such a great gift.
What a wonderful suggestion. And we know that we're going to have you back on doing your segment to talk about the Christmas shows.
Excellent. Thanks.
So thank you so much for coming down today.
Thanks so much.
And that's it for today's episode of West Talk. I want to thank Jamie Buffett for coming down and telling us about the exciting stuff happening up at Adventure Moto. I want to thank Elizabeth from the Kidney Foundation for sharing some important information. And of course, Krista for coming down from the Arts and Culture Center. And by the way, anytime you're stuck for something to do, just check out the Arts and Culture Center's website. There's probably a show that you're going to love. And finally, thanks for sticking till the very end. Krista actually gave us 2 tickets to the circus show Friday night. That's Off Balance, happening at the Arts and Culture Center, and she wants to give them to you. So all you've got to do is send in an email to this address that's right down here, feedback@rci, whatever it is right here that Gion's going to put in, and say, I want to see the circus. And we'll pick a winner and give those tickets out. That's it for this week's episode of West Talk. We'll be back next Tuesday with another show. Thanks.
If you have a comment about this program, we'd love to hear it. Email or call us, or send us your feedback through social media.
This is Rogers TV.
Ani, I'm Carolyn King, and I'm a member of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and the creator of the Moccasin Identifier. Philip Cote, an artist in Toronto here, took and redrew real moccasins. We're starting over with the children. The idea is that they would research whose land their school is built on, near, or what treaty area they're in. And the educational kit that we have has all that information in there. And the children just, like, I love it. My dream is that this province will be covered with moccasin identifiers within the next decade, and they will forever know whose land they're on. That's the goal. Educate and awareness with a nice, simple little program called the Moccasin Identifier.
This is Rogers TV.
Was that 4 or 5? He's lost count and still thinks he can drive. Do you think he knows that when he is caught and charged with impaired driving, he'll lose his life?